witches, blessed be. This is WhiteRaven over here. Today's Monday, so happy Magic Monday to all of you guys. How are you, witches? Happy Monday. I'm so excited to be here. One more Monday with you guys. You know what? It's a day to do magic, so it's a good day. Any day that is a good day to do magic, it's perfect. It's just the perfect type of day. And I'm really happy to make this video for you, since this has been a very repeated question in the comments on the videos, in my emails, in my messenger. Hopefully you guys see this video and you guys are able to find this video. I gotta tell you, I know that YouTube is not an easy place for you sometimes to find videos. It's very important, which is that you hit the notification bell in my channel so you can get my notifications every Monday. I am here every Monday. Every Monday. It's very rare that I'm not here on a Monday, but I'm here every Monday. It's important that you hit that notification bell so you can get my notifications when I post. I'm here with you every Monday, and the whole purpose in my life is for me to teach you something new every Monday and to empower you in some type of way. So when you are performing magic, you already know what to do. But it's important that you also make sure that you watch the videos, because otherwise you will miss out. You will really miss out. I want to thank everybody that has been supporting my small business, my website. I am super excited, which is check out my website as well. I have many of you guys telling me, WhiteRaven, I cannot find these products. What is the name of your website? Listen, the name of my website is WhiteRaven and witcheslair.com. It's going to be in the description of the video. You get a link that is going to take you directly into my website, and I'm going to have great herbs. My botanicals are live and going, and the herbs that I'm going to post in there, most of them are going to be the herbs that I talk about when I do my spells, because this is the specific herbs that you guys ask me about. And I'm going to try to choose herbs that are really important and relevant to our life, to our daily lives. I remember a long time ago when I ordered one of those, when I first started, when I was a baby witch, I ordered one of those kits with herbs, and trust me when I tell you, most of the herbs in those kits, they were useless. Absolutely, completely useless. There's no spells that require those herbs. So I'm going to try to be very relevant to the things that I put in the website. I just wanted to let you know I have 4 very important herbs that we use in Spanish brujeria, and I'm so excited to have them in the website. So they're already bottled. I'm going to be sharing with you pretty soon at some other goodies. So thank you so much for everybody that's been supporting me. WhiteRaven and witcheslair.com. That is the name of my website, and it's going to be here in the description of the video in the bottom, and also I'm going to put the name in the screen for you guys to check it out. So the topic today is one of those topics that have been requested many times, and even though I think I have addressed this topic many times as well, I don't think I have taken the time to do a whole video on it. And I'll tell you this, whenever you guys request something, I look and I search, because I need to know what's out there. I'll be honest with you, I saw nothing answering this question, which is, WhiteRaven, how do I protect myself when I am doing a curse? We're going to discuss it today. Hopefully this is going to be clear and you're not going to have this question anymore. If this is something that interests you, witches, stick around because it's coming up right now. Justified magic does not come back. It's very important that you know this. I do understand as well that I have a lot of new people in this channel, and this is a very legit concern. Not only of you if you're a new witch, but also some seasoned witches still afraid of performing any type of hexes. The first thing that we do have to understand is what it is that we are doing when we perform a hex. Why do I perform hexes? There are 2 types of hexes, which is justified and unjustified. Justified hexes is also called protection magic, reversal magic. And then you have unjustified magic. I cannot rescue you from unjustified magic, witches. If you perform any type of unjustified hexes, trust me when I tell you that no matter how much protection you do and how much you follow the things that I tell you in this video, sooner or later, that energy is going to come back and bite you in the ass. And it's either going to hurt you or maybe somebody that you love. So it's very important that you think twice twice before you perform any hexes out of spite, because you can, or for any frivolous reasons. I'm gonna give you an example of a hex that is 100% unjustified that I get requests strangely too much. WhiteRaven, I want you to teach me a hex because I want this woman to have a deformed child or have an abortion or lose the kid or have a sick kid because the woman is the lover of her husband. That is 100% which is an unjustified hex. That is a terrible hex. If the woman is taking away your man, by all means, if you want to send her a hex for doing that, you're justified. However, do not mess with the baby that woman is having, because that is 100% unjustified. It's not that baby's fault what's happening right in the world. So stay away from magic like that, which is, you know, sometimes we try to make hexes with a very hot head, and that is something that you need to stay away from, because that type of magic is definitely going to get you in a lot of trouble. And trust me when I tell you, when magic comes back to ask for the bill, sometimes you don't have what it takes to pay for it. And so then we got the unjustified hexes, right? The unjustified magic. So what is justified magic then? I mean, these are going to be hexes anyways. I mean, you saw me doing a pretty nasty hex the other day against somebody on power. You saw me doing that, and you see me doing a lot of hexes in here, and they're not really nice because hexes are not pretty, but they could be justified. So what is justified magic, WhiteRaven? What is it? This is magic that you're going to utilize to defend yourself. This is magic that you're going to utilize to protect a loved one. This is magic that you're going to do, which is to heal yourself. Because you're going to take something that has been sent towards you and you are going to reverse it to whoever it is that inflicted that pain or that suffering upon you. An example, an abusive husband, an abusive partner, somebody that used to beat the crap out of you, right? So you're going to sit down, you have already that energy, right? All that punishment, all that abuse is within you. It's energy that is still within you. You know what? When you do a hex, reversal magic, you are going to gather all that energy and you're just going to send it back, because that energy does not belong to you. It belongs to the abuser. So that is reversal magic. That is a justified hex. A justified hex is also magic that you do to stop somebody that is abusing power, like the hex that I did the other day. Or you are stopping a criminal. Sometimes we witches are like vigilantes. I like to think about myself in such way. Now, having said that, I do not wake up every day thinking, who's the evildoer that I'm going to hex today? And that's not how I want to live my life. I'm going to do hexes for things that pertain to me or the people that I love. So let's resume. You're trying to do a hex, but you are very afraid because you think that when you perform a hex, you're sending something evil to somebody else. And I already told you there's two types of hexes, justified and unjustified. So unjustified is doing things that have no need. You're doing things out of spite. But justified magic is going to be things that have been done to you. You are protecting yourself, defending your sin, or taking out of you and sending back all the pain and all the hurt and all the evilness that somebody has inflicted upon you. That is reversal magic. Now, reversal magic, because it's justified, will not come back to you. That is something that I want you, especially my new witches, to understand and comprehend. So I need you to get that very clear in your mind, because once you comprehend that, doing hexes is going to become a little bit easier for you, and you're going to understand that bad magic is not necessarily bad. So let's get into the question that we had today. WhiteRaven, how do we protect ourselves when we are performing hexes and curses? It's a good question, which is a really good question. There's different ways for you to protect yourself. Protection is done daily when you practice witchcraft like I do. But I was new at one point and I had the same question. And now I'm more seasoned. I don't know everything. I don't know anything yet, but I'm more seasoned and I do my rituals every day, particularly every Monday. Protection and shielding is always up. I have my shields up constantly. So I'm going to give you the ways in which I protect myself. And this is on a spiritual level. The most important thing that you have to take into consideration is the relationship that you have with the spiritual world. So when we become witches and we start practicing witchcraft and we start doing hexes, immediately you're going to have a connection with the spiritual world, because we're going to be working with things that we do not see. And you become a beacon, believe it or not, you do. So it's so important that you establish a good relationship with your ancestors, with your spirits. What are your spirits? Do you have any spirits? Have you ever felt like you have somebody guarding you and taking care of you, protecting you all your life? If you're going to start working with the magic, which is, it is imperative that you have a great relationship with the spirits. Those are going to be your guardians in that side. And the side that you don't see, you're going to have those protectors right out there. It is important that you have that relationship. Every Monday that I'm here with you, I do my rituals because I attend and I take care of all my spirits because they're my guardians. They are taking care of me. They are protecting me. So the first rule of thumb when you're going to perform magic, make sure that you have good relationship with your spiritual world. And listen, witches, this does not have to be a deity, an angel, a saint. This can just be your grandparents, loved ones that are deceased. You can communicate with them with your mind, in thought, in dreams. Talk to them because they're going to be the one protecting you in that side. Something that I have experienced is that when something is coming towards me, they will be the first one to let me know, either in dreams or I'm going to have experiences throughout my day that I know that my spirits are talking to me. The better your relationship with your spirits, the more protection you're going to have and the more aware you're going to be about things that are coming to you and when you have to kick it up a notch. Another way in which you can learn how to protect yourself and get prepared to be protected all the time through meditation. It is really important that you try to meditate, even if it's just 5 minutes a day. I personally think anybody can meditate. It's just learning and finding the way on how to meditate. Meditation is not sitting down doing your mudras and listening to chants. And no, meditation is being in contact with the energies of the universe. So you sit down and you try to tap on that. Wait, so you're ready to do your hex. Some people do a lot of rituals before doing hexes. You know about doing a circle, creating a circle. A circle is a beautiful ritual that you can do. Creating a circle takes some practice because there are certain things that you have to do when you create a circle. So when you create a circle, you're going to call upon the 4 quarters and the elements that come from the 4 quarters. And they are going to assist you and they're going to create a shield where you are doing your magic. So creating a sacred space, safe space for you to do the magic within and inside that circle is a great idea for you to protect yourself before doing a hex. Creating a circle. Very important. If you don't want to do a circle, because let's face it, the circle is created by a specific spiritual path, but not everybody. Like my friends at Practice Santeria do not make circles. People that do Spiritismo don't do circles. I rarely do any circles, but there's other things that you do instead of the circle. So other things that you can do is, for example, having some servitors. If you are somebody that have servitors, and by the way, I have a video in here on how to create a servitor and what a servitor is. If you have a servitor, you can call upon your servitor to be the guardian, and that's going to be his task, or your servitor's task is going to be to protect you while you are performing your magic. So having a servitor is a good way for you to protect yourself while doing hexes. Something easier is going to be smudging. If you are about to do a hex and you want to make sure that you are protected, make sure that you smudge with the specific herbs that you may like to use. At the end, I'm going to talk to you about some herbs that I like to use. But you can do smudging, for example. You can also create barriers with powders and specific ingredients. Later on in the video, I'm going to tell you what you can use. But those are different type of things that you can use to protect yourself prior to sit down to perform a hex. You can also use waters. Like for example, holy water. You can use holy water and you can create like barriers with the holy water. I love to use Florida water. I also myself like to use bay rum. I love to use bay rum. It's a Puerto Rican thing. I love bay rum. And some other waters. I mean, there's a lot of waters out there, and if you go to the Botanica, you're gonna find like hundreds of waters. I do not know the use of all of them, which is, I have my favorite ones and I stick to what I know and what I like. But you can also use waters around your space to protect yourself. Now we're going to talk about amulets, and that's going to be a lot easier for you because these are things that you can purchase, you can make, and you can charge, and you can see them, right? So by seeing it, you feel more safe. There's nothing that I love more than my gargoyles. I have some gargoyles in my space, and they are my guardians. I don't have servitors, but I have my gargoyles, and they are 100% in charge of protecting my surroundings, particularly if I'm doing any type of hex. Witches bottles. I have a whole video over here on bottle magic, and witches bottles are meant to protect you. Witches bottles are meant to take any type of evil stuff that is coming towards you. So it is really good that you have witches bottles buried around the space where you're doing your magic. You can do an equal forearm cross, particularly with bones if you can. I also have my little bone cross that I love very much. You can also use horseshoes, witches. We spoke about the horseshoe the other day. The iron in the horseshoe will protect you. So that is a protection amulet as well. Sprite traps. I have a whole video on how to make a sprite trap. And that is a trap for evil things coming towards you. Sprite traps. Listen, I shared with you how to make a shield and a gig. The other day, you have a whole video on how to do a shield and a gig. And shield and a gig is designed for protection. I strongly suggest that if you get to see that video, get on it and make your own shield and a gig. She's going to assist you when protecting. Sigils. You can draw sigils all over your space, all over your house, all over your rooms, all over your magical space. And they don't necessarily have to be visible. You can draw them with oils, you can draw them with water, you can draw them in the air. If you have a magic wand and you want to use your magic wand, by all means use your magic wand. Use your power finger and do your sigils around. Sigils are very powerful. There's also a video in this channel on how to make sigils, so I'll try to link it in the description of the video. Crystals. Crystals are really awesome when you want to create a grid for protection. I visualize those grids, witches, and it's important that you do too. Like a whole shield of energy, like a bubble of energy protecting you while you're doing your stuff. I am not the best person to talk to you about crystals because I don't use a lot of crystals. I'm very specific with my crystals. You can research this, witches. There's many books, great books on crystals that you can research, and you can learn how to do your own grids. And I think grids are awesome, especially in your room when you're sleeping. You should have a grid for sleeping and for protection. I think it's really, really, really cool. Maybe I'll research a little bit more and I'll talk to you about it in another video. Pentacles. Witchcraft 101. Pentacles. Pentacles is 100% protection. Pentacles. Pentacles. Did I say pentacles? Pentacles. We talk about witches bottles, but there's also witches balls. Witches balls can be used for many things, but you can make witches balls for protection. They're a lot of fun and they're great to create. You can get just a Christmas ornament, the ones that are clear, and you can stuff those things with different herbs to protect you. All right, those are some amulets and some things that you can create. The sky is the limit. Depending on your spiritual path, maybe you know different ones. Again, stick to what you know. If you use a protection amulet, have something different than what I share in here right now, because there's so many. I mean, the sky is the limit. Use what you know. Empower it and be certain that it's going to help you out. So now let's talk about products, botanicals, and powders for protection. And again, this is a lot easier than creating servitors and whatnot, right? So you can use cemetery dirt. And remember, there's a protocol before getting cemetery dirt. If you get cemetery dirt from the tomb of somebody that was in service, like a police, like a soldier, or let's say that you want to go to the tomb of your dad or the tomb of your grandparents, because you know they're going to protect you, because they protect you when you were little and you felt very protected by them. So by all means, you can use that dirt around your premises and around your sacred space to protect yourself. Ochre and red brick powder. It's been used in hoodoo forever, since day one. I consider ochre Mother Earth blood. And to me, that's very sacred. By the way, I have both in my website, because a lot of you guys are going to say, what is ochre? To me, ochre is so important, and I feel the power in ochre. Obviously, red brick powder also. But sprinkle ochre around your sacred space. Now, ochre stains, so be very careful. Or you can do some red brick powder. That is great for you to create barriers, especially in protection barriers when you are doing any type of hexes or magic. I have silver infused black salt. And I am very proud of that little product that I have. I love it. I think it's so badass. If you feel like you have weird entities, like some type of night visitations that don't feel spiritual or from this realm, they're in like that in between from another dimension, I really like my black salt infused with silver. They protect me. I feel the protection of that, and that is the whole purpose of that salt. It's one of my favorite things and one of the things that I'm most proud in my website. Cascarilla. Cascarilla is something extremely popular in Spanish brujeria and espiritismo and witchcraft, and that is eggshells. I think my first or second video in YouTube was about me making cascarilla. Have you guys seen that video? Please let me know in the description of the video, because I thought it was so adorable. Sometimes I see that video and I feel some type of way. It's kind of like emotional, but yeah, cascarilla. You're gonna grind your eggshells and you're going to put that around your sacred space. Bluing. We have some bluing squares in the website, and this is why, which is what I already told you. What I put in that website, I'm thinking about you. So you can do bluing squares. All that cobalt blue color is really good when it comes to protecting you. Dilute it in water and put it around your sacred space, or mix it with cascarilla. It's a great mix, but remember, it's going to stain, just to let you know. Salt, regular salt, the incorruptible. Regular salt is great for protection, period. It's done, it's great, it's amazing. Asafoetida. That smell of asafoetida is going to scare away any devil that is going to chase you because you're doing a hex. Let me tell you, asafoetida is awesome. Which is also called devil's dung. I may have it on my website coming up soon for you guys to have accessible if you need it. Listen, there's a lot of things that you can use. Garlic, for example, and garlic is very interesting because garlic, you see it in all these vampire movies and all that stuff. Garlic is really high in sulfur. Putting sulfur is not the same thing as putting garlic. Garlic, to me, I love the smell of garlic. I do not like the smell of sulfur. If you want to put some garlic around your sacred space, that is another way for you to protect yourself. Again, please, witches, use what you know, what you are related to. If when you were little, grandma told you that this plant is really good to scare away bad spirits, that's the one that you want to use. Trust me. Another question that I get asked all the time is, how do you hide your magic? WhiteRaven, how do I hide my magic so somebody else don't know that I'm doing magic on them? So, I'm going to tell you what I learned. These are the two things that I use to hide my magic. I truly believe that it's really hard for anybody to really pinpoint with specifics the person that is working them. Which means that when I'm doing a hex, I'm 100% sure that the person is not going to know that I'm performing a hex on them. But to hide your magic, one of the things that I learned very recent in one of Miss Aida's books, I may put the picture of the book here on the screen, is that if you want to hide your magic, you put bay leaf in every corner of your sacred space. And that will make your magic like completely blind for other people. That will make people blind towards your magic. Another thing that I've done and that I have known for a very long time is the use of water. A lot of people ask me, WhiteRaven, how can we use water? There you go. You can use water to hide your magic. So I hope these little tips help you a little bit when it comes to create your own protection when you're doing magic, when you're doing hexes. After taking all these measures when doing your hexes, it is really important, witches, that when we finish with the hex, we also cleanse ourselves. And the best way for me to cleanse myself is with a bath. I love using my Florida water bath salts. That is something that I told you. Also hyssop. I like to use hyssop if I need it. But since I have my Florida water bath salts, that's what I'm going to use. I rub myself with my salts and I'm clean. I feel clean. But you also want to cleanse your space. I love to use to clean my space after I finish performing any hexes, especially if they're heavy, camphor. I love to burn camphor and clean the space. I just love how it smells. I love how clean it makes everything. And another thing that I like to use is Palo Santo. I am not a big fan of sage. Not because I don't like it, but because it doesn't resonate with me. Now, if you feel more attached to sage and sage resonates with you, then that's what you're going to use. And these are things that I have shared with you in other videos, so that's why I don't want to put a lot of talk in here because this video is already getting a little bit too long. But I really hope that these ideas give you some type of understanding of the things that you have to do when you are performing a hex, and it gives you more confidence when you are performing your hex. Listen, the most important thing, which is that you trust yourself. And the most important important thing is that you get any fear that you have in your mind. Many years ago, I read in one of WhiteRaven's Wolf book what she said about fear. Fear is false evidence appearing real. The fear that she was talking about is the fear that we have towards magic and the things that we think are going to happen when you perform magic. Listen, witches, evil stuff is not out there to grab you just because you became a witch. If you are doing something right, like justified magic, be at peace and be grateful that you actually have the ability to correct a wrong and to maybe help other people from evil. Trust what you're doing. Trust magic. Trust yourself. Be done with your hex. Be done with your hex. Last, witches, try to keep your hexes outside of your home, especially if these are hexes that you're calling upon spirits to punish somebody. As a matter of fact, I know a lot of people that have a shed outside their houses where they perform their magic. At least in Puerto Rico, I met a lot of people used to have all their trabajos outside of their houses, and that's the way many people still do it, at least in Puerto Rico. There you go. I hope this advice serves well, and I hope this gives you a system for you to know what to do when you're performing spells, and at the same time, it gives you more confidence to do the things that you have to do. And that's it, witches. Thank you so much for meeting me today again. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel if this information was good to you, and hit the notification bell so you can get my videos every week. Remember that I am in Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest, and please visit my website, WhiteRavenandWitchesLair.com. You're going to find many of the things that we spoke about in here today in my website. If they're not there now, they will be there pretty soon. I can promise you that. Email me if you have any questions in regards to magic. WhiteRavenandWitchesLair.com. Your wish is my command, witches. You must stay very smart, witches. You need to learn. You need to do your research. The more you know, the more empowerment you will have, and the more confidence you're going to have when you're doing your magic. Stay very smart, but above all, witches, you must stay so very wicked. Bye.